The African group of ambassadors in Beijing have sent a message to the government of the People's Republic of China and the International Department of the Communist Party in China to protest what they say is the ongoing forceful testing, quarantine and maltreatment of African nationals in China and in Guangdong Province in particular. On Thursday, they met with government to voice their support of China's joint efforts with their home countries in the fight against COVID-19 and the opposition to the discrimination and stigmatization. Ambassador Mxolisi Nkosi is the Deputy Director General for Global Governance and Continental Agenda at the Department of International Relations, DERCO, and he joins us now via Skype. A very good morning to you, Ambassador Nkosi.
Hi, good morning, Desiree.
Is South Africa aware of this call by the Africa Group of Ambassadors in Beijing, and is the South African ambassador part of this campaign?
Well, indeed, we are aware of the diplomatic note that was issued by the African Group of Ambassadors in Beijing.
What is happening in Guangdong Province that's being construed as discrimination and stigmatization of Africans?
Well, so far what we have received are just reports. These are allegations, and they still have to be investigated by the relevant authorities in China. May I just hasten to say that South Africa, in its capacity as the chair of the African Union, is indeed deeply concerned about reports of the alleged ill treatment of African nationals in China. These reports of alleged allegations, or rather of alleged actions against African nationals, are inconsistent with the excellent relations that exist between China and Africa, dating back to China's support during the decolonization struggle in Africa, and now manifesting in an extensive Africa-China partnership. This collaborative mutual relationship also finds expression in the support that China is providing to Africa in the ongoing fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We welcome the action taken by the AU Commission Chairperson, Mr. Moussa Faki Mahamat, to call in the Chinese ambassador in Addis Ababa to provide an explanation and express the AU's deep concern about this matter. We also welcome the assurances given by the Chinese authorities that it is not the policy of China to discriminate against African nationals. We urge the relevant Chinese authorities to investigate these reports and to take appropriate remedial measures. We also encourage the African Group of Ambassadors in Beijing to continue to engage the Chinese authorities with a view to ensuring that Africans are not subjected to any ill treatment and that instead they are treated equally with respect and with dignity, like all other foreign nationals in China. This is the message that we've conveyed to the Chinese authorities, and we look forward to the Chinese authorities investigating these allegations and taking the appropriate remedial actions where necessary.
Going back to the group of ambassadors, it's interesting that the communications is both to government and party. Why was this the case? And why did the ambassadors have to take this route? Were they feeling that perhaps the African Union was not sufficiently assisting their cause?
In terms of diplomatic practice, the ambassadors who are resident in Beijing and accredited to the People's Republic of China, they have the right, they have the full authority to raise matters directly with the authorities in Beijing. They do not necessarily need the endorsement or the authority of the African Union. They are duly authorized to raise matters directly with the Chinese authorities.
So what's the way forward? Where to from here?
Well, as far as I'm informed, there is a meeting that is scheduled today in Beijing, where the ambassadors will be given the platform by the Chinese authorities to raise these matters and also to present evidence and all the reports that are relevant. And the Chinese authorities will take the matters forward. and we do hope that this matter will be resolved speedily.
So China's ambassador Song Xiang recently ended his term here in South Africa. Does it complicate DIRCO's communication with China in this regard, or are there other communication channels?
No, we enjoy very excellent cordial relations with China. Matters of this nature normally arise in diplomacy. And we subject these matters to the appropriate diplomatic channels. So we are engaging with the Chinese authorities on these matters, and as I say, we are hopeful that we'll find a solution.
Ambassador Nkosi, aside from this matter, there's been a lot of work that DIRCO has been doing in the fight against COVID-19, especially in terms of the repatriation of South Africans from different parts of the world. Just take us into this work and what it has involved so far.
Well, so far, as Minister Naledi Pandor has indicated in various press briefings, sorry about that. As I indicated, Minister Naledi Pandor has indicated in various press briefings that all our systems, all our structures have got their hands on deck, and they're working hard to make sure that South African nationals are assisted, are facilitated. Those who want to come back to South Africa, they are assisted. We've seen a number of SAA flights going to various capitals in the world to facilitate the repatriation of South Africans back into the motherland.
Let's thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador Nkosi is the Deputy Director General for Global Governance and Continental Agenda. He was talking to us about the plight of African ambassadors in China relating to stigma in the fight against COVID-19.